Hey, this is Nick from Cameta Camera, and I'm here with Brandon from Fujifilm. Today we're getting a very lucky sneak peek at the new GFX 50S digital camera. Now this is a medium format camera, the first digital medium format from Fujifilm. And this is a whole new system we've got here. So we've got lots of new lenses and lots of new features, and of course, lots of new resolution. So that's going to be the main selling feature of this camera, and it provides it in by the boatload.
Absolutely. Well, we're excited to show this camera. Of course, we're excited for this to hit the market. We think it's going to bring photographers, a whole new level of resolution that they've been asking for in a portable, comfortable DSLR mirrorless format. Of course, having this massive sensor in a compact body that doesn't weigh more than a traditional DSLR is really a nice feature. And we've made it weatherproof. So I think having a ruggedized body and lenses, this is going to be the camera that people turn to for their studio shooting as well as their outdoor backwoods work. And commercial shooters shooting it in weather, dealing with just sand, rain, snow, this camera is built to handle it. And of course, some photographers might be a little less inclined to take a regular camera that's not weatherproof in some of those harsh conditions.
Yeah,
so
especially if you've got a real expensive camera that you don't want to take outside in those conditions, you can rest assured that this one is up to the task. So like you said, when I first held this thing, I couldn't believe how light it was for a medium format camera. I was expecting something a lot larger, and it's very comfortable. It has a nice ergonomic feel to it. Now, like I mentioned before, the main thing here is going to be the resolution you're getting out of this camera. 51.4 megapixels, which is just crazy. And you also get a very large sensor so that you get a lot more light available for
dynamic range and the bit
14-bit dynamic range, which is something that's really important if you're looking for very good color and excellent image quality. So we can take a look at the sensor. And there it is. That is a amazingly large sensor, and if we compare that, could you hold that for a second, Brandon? If you compare that to what we've got over here, this is Fuji's X Pro 2, which is no slouch by any means. This is your usual APS-C size sensor, and then you've got the new medium format camera over here, and it is really just a huge step up.
It's exactly what the market's been craving, we think. And of course, we have the versatility of the Fujifilm having a focal plane shutter. This mount will accept, of course, our GF lens line, but of course with adapters people will be able to use a whole slew of other lenses, and of course there'll be creative other ways that people wind up adapting lenses to it for even the video function that the camera has, or for studio shooting who may have had other camera systems with lenses that will be compatible with an adapter.
Right, so like when this camera is officially on the market, there will be an adapter available so you can use older Fujifilm medium format lenses.
Some of the 645 lenses that we made, but of course the more popular probably here is the Hasselblad HC lens system will work with an adapter. Okay,
so if you're used to shooting medium format, you'll be able to use this camera body, and you'll have that versatility going forward.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so there's also the question of how this compares to a DSLR. Now, a lot of people have a Pro DSLR, plenty of resolution coming out of those cameras. They've been around for a long time, so there's obviously that legacy there. What makes this something that's worthwhile to upgrade to, or maybe change completely to, because you've got a whole new system here?
I think part of it is what we've already sort of hit on, the fact that when you have a larger sensor area, the more megapixels you put on that, of course, does not always lead to a better image.
That's true.
But with a larger sensor area and the right amount of pixels, which in this case we're hoping and we're saying is 50, that is going to be the sweet spot for capturing the ultimate in image quality at this format. Having the size approximately of a DSLR, but having a sensor that is 1.7 times larger is going to allow you to get a better image quality. And that's what landscape people are looking for, that's what studio people are looking for at also an economical price. So the $64.95 body price is quite, a shock to some of the people when they look at what the feature set is.
All right, so we've got a brand new system of lenses as well. These GF lenses are all weather sealed to match the weather sealing of the camera body.
Yep.
And 3 of them will be available at launch. We've got a few of them right here. What you're putting on the camera now is a 63 millimeter, and that is a 2.8?
Yep.
Okay, so that is a nice prime lens with lots of great depth of field, excellent bokeh. They'll also be having a 32 to 64 millimeter. This is a constant f4, and this is a nice little zoom walking around lens.
Totally.
And then of course you've got this telephoto zoom over here. Nope, not a zoom. A telephoto 120 millimeter f4, and this is also an excellent portrait lens, of course.
Well, it's portrait, and of course we can't forget this is a macro.
Macro as
so this
well.
is a 1:2 macro. So this is going to be, you know, our tethered studio still life capture lens. Of course, portrait is an option. We're also going to have coming down the road this summer, you know, is the 110 f2, which will be an amazing portrait lens with incredible bokeh because of the medium format capabilities as well as the wide aperture.
Okay.
And then this being, the focal length multiplier is about 0.79, so this is about a 50 millimeter, and the other math we can do off, we're not going to do off the top of our head, but of course it's accessible online.
Right, but it'll eventually be focal lengths that most photographers are used to.
Absolutely, everything is going to translate right down what everybody's comfortable.
Okay, and also available coming soon will be a 23 millimeter f4 and a 45 millimeter 2.8, so you can look forward to those as well.
Yep.
So when the camera launches and going forward, you'll have a nice versatile system. Lots of lenses will be coming eventually in the years to come, as long as you know, this GFX system continues to hopefully will succeed and everyone will get used to a medium format
I think it's
camera.
going to be love at first sight. So far it has been for everybody.
Okay.
Some of the flexibility, of course, we like to show off.
Well, why don't we check out some of that flexibility? We'll hand this over to our photographer, Nikolai, and he can put it through its paces. We'll check it out in the studio.
Let's do it.
All right.
Hi, Nikolai here, and we're going to take a hands-on look at the Fujifilm GFX 50S, which I'm really excited about. I've been waiting for this camera for a while.
It does feel good in the hand, doesn't it?
Yes. It actually about the same weight as a Pro DSLR, which is amazing considering the sensor is quite a bit larger than it. I shoot the X Pro 2 a lot, and I can see myself holding this pretty much for a full shoot, no problem.
Sure. Well, we're lucky we have a great model here to work
Yes.
with, right?
We're going to be working with Shelly today. You might recognize her face if you've seen our YouTube channel before. So without further ado, let's get shooting.
Put it through its paces. I think what's great too is you're probably noticing immediately when you pick it up to your eye how the sensor will flip off from the LCD to the high resolution EVF.
Yeah, as soon as I put it down, it goes right back to the LCD. You know, just demo for the camera, and then it goes right off.
Also, of course, one of the great Fujifilm features is the AF Control Joystick. So just like you're familiar with the X Pro 2 as well as the XT2, while you're shooting you can be moving your AF button point around to get the shot you want.
Yeah, and that's very convenient instead of having to click a separate button to change that point around.
One of the other hot things, of course, and especially even in studio, but more so maybe outdoors, is the film simulation. So the ability to change how
yes.
your output file will look in your JPEG, especially from, say, Velvia to Provia to Ostia to, of course, black and white with different filter controls. People have really fallen in love with the Fujifilm film simulations.
Yeah, and to get to that really quick, we have the return of the quick menu.
Yeah, the quick menu has always been a star of the system.
So we just click the button right here, and we got all of these nice options to choose from. We can change noise reduction, ISO here if we really wanted to, dynamic range, and we have film simulation right here. So I'm just going to switch this to my favorite, Classic Chrome.
Also, most people probably saw when they were looking at the camera the familiarity between something like the XT2 with the ISO dial, the shutter speed dial, even the X Pro 2, of course, and the other cameras with the dial controls, which make it really simple to operate when you know what you're going for. You know this is the shutter speed dial, you know this is the ISO dial, and the menu system is so similar to all the other X series cameras, so someone who's familiar with our system can easily pick this up. Anyone else who's into it can easily just operate a camera that they're comfortable with.
Yeah, like I said, coming from, you know, shooting the X Pro 2 all the time, I'm very familiar with this camera, and this is the first time I'm picking it up.
Yeah, I think we should take it outside, do some more shooting as well.
Definitely. But while we're in the studio here, let's look at some other stuff here. I have the drive mode button here, so we can change this from still images. Still image to continuous. So we just switch that really quick. Let's see how this thing handles these shots.
That brings up another point. Let's try it in the silent mode. So
Ah.
that was, of course, with the mechanical shutter, and now we have the option of switching it into the electronic shutter. So when you switch it into electronic shutter mode, you'll just have the option for a completely silent camera, which is something that people have really enjoyed with the Fujifilm system. People who might have to shoot in a quiet theater, somewhere with video cameras around like now. No sound.
That makes absolutely no sound whatsoever.
And maybe
That's
they think you're faking
incredible.
us out. You really taking a picture?
You're actually shooting it?
Yes, I am. We have our boom mic up here, so I'm actually just going to put it right next to it. And actually, considering that we have a tilt screen, that would actually come in handy right now. So we got it right next to the microphone, and I'm going to fire now.
I can't hear anything.
And that was
I literally
probably
just took about 5,
or
6
yeah.
shots. That is incredible.
And the camera offers about 3 frames per second rate, so for a camera of this size and with this kind of sensor, it's really great to
Low
have
angle
that
shots.
speed, as well as it actually does have the capability to shoot video, so HD video is possible.
HD video on a medium format camera.
It's gonna be exciting.
Getting a little verklempt in here.
Maybe you should step outside for a while, Nick.
Yeah, maybe we should go outside and test some more stuff out on this camera. in the
Yeah, why
field.
not?
All right, so now we're outside in some cold, cold winter weather.
Definitely.
We're gonna try and be here as little as possible, but it's great to mention that this camera can operate in below freezing temperatures.
Oh, absolutely. We've had it out down to -20 up in Canada. Billy, one of the Fuji guys, was testing it, so we've given it its paces in cold weather like we are here.
And it operates perfectly.
Absolutely. Also with the bright light, you can see how the LCD works perfectly, switches on and off.
Yeah, and it's actually very visible. I don't know if our camera can catch it, but the LCD is very visible in the light out here. And also our information screen is very visible too. So, let's take
Yeah,
some
we're
more
really
shots.
proud of the camera. Certainly the weather resistant is a key part. Now we know that you know, today is actually a nice day, but we have seen some mixed weather over the past couple days, and we expect a lot of shooters to be out using it under all sorts of conditions.
Yeah, and speaking of, this camera is also weather sealed.
The weather sealing holds everything. I even brought a little test.
What?
And you're ready. Keep
Did that-
shooting.
did that
This
just
camera can
happen?
happen. This camera can handle it.
Okay. Wow, I was not expecting you to do that.
I wasn't expecting to do that, but look, the camera can handle it. That's what it's built for. Unexpected things happen to photographers out in the field, so Fujifilm wants to build a product that can take it.
Yeah, and it is operating perfectly, even though my hands are getting very numb at the moment. So yeah, that's the Fujifilm GFX 50S, and I guess we'll go back in the studio and clean this up for you a little bit.
Yes, please.
And we'll see you back in there.
All right, so we've had a chance to get our hands on the new GFX 50S, try it out, put it through its paces, and unfortunately we can't show you any of the image samples because this is a pre-production model, so those image files are sort of under lock and key at this point, but it will be released very soon, and until that time you can check out some of the official image samples on Fujifilm.com, and those are, you know, full resolution, so you can get an appreciation as to what kind of image quality and color depth and everything you're getting from it. But Nick, you had a chance to try it in studio as well as outside, and you shoot Fujifilm all the time. What did you think about it compared to X Pro 2, XT2, things like that?
Yeah, I actually started with an XT10, went to the X Pro 2, which I've been shooting with from now since then, and the quality jump from like this to that is just like, it's amazing. There's so much more resolution in this one, and the fact that you can still use all the film simulations on it with the JPEG files is really cool. So you really don't have to do too much editing to the files. Can't wait to see what the raw images are going to look like in the future. I can't. It's ridiculous. This camera it's just amazing. I wish I could afford it.
Okay,
But,
well, so you've been sufficiently impressed, I guess.
Yes, and the thing that I love about it is that when you think of medium format cameras, you think of just studio work. You really don't bring medium format cameras out into the field. Because this camera and this lenses and the select lenses are weather resistant,
Sure.
you can now bring this out into the field, you know, on location, you know, if it rains a little bit, whatever, it's weather sealed. and that's going to be a game changer for the industry.
Yeah, especially for people who really want to get those landscape shots.
Yes.
Get out there into the elements, and this is going to be great for them as well as people in the studio. So Brandon, when is this going to be available, and how much is it going to cost?
Well, we're expecting a release in a few weeks now, but it should be March 2017, the complete system with the 3 lenses, the accessory tilt viewfinder adapter, the vertical release grip and the extra battery holder, as well as the Hasselblad HC lens adapter, and looks like our 4x5 graph lock adapter, so you can actually mount it onto different view camera systems. So all that should be available in just a few weeks, and we're looking forward to it.
All right, and the body is going to be about how much?
$64.95.
Okay, so not much more than a professional DSLR, and the level of resolution and color depth you're going to get out of this camera is just going to be, you know, light years beyond what you're used to. So we're all hoping for a very good launch for the new 50S.
Absolutely.
And you'll be able to get yours very soon, March 2017, like he said, at Cameta.com.